What's up? Welcome back to the channel. So in this video we're going to be talking about some of the images that Russia put out, which pretty much confirms the fact that Christ was a so-called black man and that the Israelites of the Bible were black. And a lot of us may have already known this information, but now we're at the point where the whole world is being exposed to this information and there's pretty much no denying it at this point. And I truly believe that we're getting closer to the end of time, because we know the Bible says that all things must be revealed before Christ returns. So this information is very important, and again, I truly believe that we are in the last days. But I'm gonna show some different video clips so we can get a more clear understanding of certain things that are going on today. And I'm gonna start it off with a clip from the Phil Donahue show, which, if I'm not mistaken, it was aired in 1993, but it definitely is still relevant to today's topic.
I just wanted to say, when Kareem and I pray, we don't pray because Jesus is black or white. What Kareem is trying to portray to you is that as a human being, the way he's depicted it has an effect on our black people. As young people, when they look up, they want to see someone that they can say that did something in their life. And Kareem looked, he said, well, Mom, why do we have white Jesus? Was Jesus white? I said, no, he wasn't white. The Bible depicts him as a man of color. I said, but from the European aspect, this is the way they portrayed him, because how would it look for enslaved days to have a white or a black Jesus as a savior?
Yeah, so she definitely spoke a lot of truth there, because we know it would have been very difficult for them to keep us in any type of slavery if we would have known that we were the original people of the Bible the whole time. So we definitely see why they had to lie and change the images. And this is biblical prophecy unfolding before all of our eyes, because we know in the Bible, in the book of Baruch, it talks about how God's people are going to wake up in the land of our captivity. And clearly we all see our people beginning to wake up, and we are still in the land of our captivity. So, I mean, of course, there's going to be some people out there who do not like this truth, but it really doesn't matter, because it's the truth and we can prove it biblically and through historical facts.
This is Russian Icons by Father Vladimir Ivanov. I hope I didn't butcher that name, but this is a book that is highly coveted by different circles. Because it has the black icons, it has the history of black people in places like Russia, in Italy, in places all over Europe. This book can range from $1,300 to $3,000, so it's not an easy book to get. I actually borrowed this book from a friend. This book has a lot of interesting depictions in it. A lot of them pertaining to the Bible. Like right here, this is the Transfiguration of Christ. It's black people in caves, I believe, what it looks like. It's black people in the whole picture, but this is knowledge that escapes black people here in America. It's definitely something that we would never see.
Alright, so that brother definitely did a good job of explaining the certain details of that book. And I would recommend, if and when you get the chance, that you watch the entire video. It's only about 6 minutes. And if I'm not mistaken, that video itself is about 5 years old. And these pictures with Russia and the vault and everything, this is not new. These things have been out for years, but I just believe that the Most High is pouring his spirit out and people are receiving the truth. So I mean, we have to always keep in mind that the Most High is in control of all things. So I mean, it's not about giving Vladimir Putin and Russia a bunch of credit for putting these pictures out. It's the Most High who used Vladimir Putin to do what he wanted him to do, because his will is going to be done no matter what. And I mean, it's very clear that it's only the Most High alone that can wake his people up, because we've been asleep for hundreds of years. And like I said, the images have been out, but they've gained a lot more traction as of recent, and a lot of people are talking about it, and people are really waking up. So that just clearly tells us that it's only the Most High that is doing this. And it's very clear to see that the world is very terrified of this type of information, because they know that once the true Israelites wake up, that's going to be the end of their rulership. So these things are very serious, and this is a very blessed time to be alive. So we thank the Most High for everything. We're going to go to the next clip.
If I'm understanding Mr. Underwood, you are, among other things, saying that you believe it can be established very credibly that Jesus was a man of color, and that, if I'm understanding you, you have a certain empathy for those especially those older Christians of all colors who have spent a lifetime worshiping a white Jesus. You're not going to go in there and break anybody's statue, but you are stepping forward to say,
I'm stepping forward 2,000 years later. You have to understand the initial images of Christ and the Madonna. In countries like Poland, Spain, Italy, these are white Caucasian countries.
right,
Worship a black Madonna and a black
yes,
Jesus.
right.
These images were altered and changed.
Alright, so for those of us who are followers of God and followers of Christ, we already know that we're not supposed to be following any pope or worshiping any images or idols or false gods or anything like that. But the point remains that the original images were of so-called black people, and of course the images were changed. So I'm gonna read this verse really quick. This is from the 1611 King James edition of the Bible. This is 1 Maccabees chapter 3 verse 48. And it goes, and laid open the book of the law, wherein the heathen had sought to paint the likeness of their images. So yeah, God gave us a warning, and the Bible is very clear that certain images were going to be changed. So I mean, today of course you'll have some people that say color doesn't matter, and for the most part when you hear people say that, they're being disingenuous. But technically, no, color does not matter, because the Bible is about bloodlines and tribes of people. So I mean, most of us already know that we did not identify ourselves as the color back in biblical times, and if so-called color did not matter, then they would not have changed all the images and lied to us for all these years. So we know that color definitely does matter, and that's one of the reasons that I wanted to go through some of this interview, because or TV show, because it clearly shows the tension that can happen, and it shows, of course, that the color of Christ does matter.
Anybody saying that Jesus, the color of Jesus does not matter, especially when you're looking at a people that has been demoralized, degraded by using the Jesus concept as white. And that's something we have to really look at.
I think so too. Yes, ma'am, you wanted to speak.
I just want to take
You'll take the mic, please.
Yes.
Take it.
I just want to find, why is it that we have a problem with Jesus being black? Why is there a problem? I mean, why is it okay for him to be white? All these years he has been.
Why isn't it okay for him to be white if he is?
Because we have learned from we were born that the image of this man has been white. Why can't we put a black image in there now?
Okay, so both of those people definitely made some very good points, and even though that was a short clip, you could still tell that there was a lot of tension in the room. So that just goes back to further prove what I was talking about a little earlier. You know, the fact that the majority of people do care about what color Christ was when he was on the earth, whether they want to admit it or not. But I'm gonna go to the next clip.
Hang on a minute, caller, because next to Dr. Felder is Corrine Stewart. You're a real live 15-year-old teenager. Well, we should know how you feel, Mr. Stewart, sir. What are your thoughts about this issue?
Well, I just think that throughout history, our history has been denied. If you look at, we don't have to just look at Jesus. We could go back to Cleopatra when they was playing Cleopatra. We didn't see that on television. We saw a white woman as Cleopatra. We saw Moses on television portrayed as a white man.
Yeah.
But this is not something new. This is not something that just jumped out the cracks all of a sudden. We have been discussing this for a while.
What inspires you? You were inspired to look into this how, Corrine?
Well, like most children and stuff, I really didn't pay any attention to it. When we walked through the church, Jesus was white, Mary was white, heck, every picture on the wall was white. But then one day I just took a step back and looked and thought about, why is this? Why do we have these images? Where are we? We're not just slaves, we are more than ex-slaves. We're from Africa, we have a very rich heritage. We were the first architects. We built pyramids. We were the first astrologers. So I just took a step back and said, heck, we're not this. We're more than gang members. We're more than killers, basketball players, musicians, entertainers. And I think it's the time. It's the time. It was time 25 years ago when Martin Luther King was assassinated, when Malcolm X was assassinated. I want somebody else to step up to the front plate. It's not, we just shouldn't sit here and just say, oh, well, heck, they let us go to a bathroom. It's time for us to change this.
And we'll be back in just a moment.
Alright, so he definitely spoke a lot of truth in that segment, and much respect to him and everyone else who's on the show speaking truth, because, I mean, in general, it takes a lot of courage to speak the truth, but that was back in 1993 when talking like that definitely was not as known or as popular. So, again, all praises to the Most High, because, of course, he's in control of all things, and he knew that that video would recirculate to today's day and time, because if I'm not mistaken, that video has at least 2 million views from the person who originally put it up. So I mean, it's just a beautiful thing to see how sometimes everything comes back full circle. And one of the things he said that was definitely true is our people, we never really cared what color Christ was. We just always thought he was white because that's what we seen, but we still loved God and loved Christ, and we just wanted to be saved. But we see now, when things have changed and the truth has been revealed, a lot of people don't like the information. A lot of people don't like the fact that Christ was a so-called black man, that the Israelites were black. And that includes some so-called black people. They can't accept the truth as well. So some of our people are still lost, unfortunately. We just have to pray and be patient and understand that it's up to the Most High and up to Christ as far as who is going to wake up. So all we can do is try to spread the truth, but of course we can only plant a seed or water a seed. Only God can give the increase. We cannot save anybody ourselves. And like he was saying as well, you know, a lot of the lies that we've been told has definitely taken a toll on our people psychologically and in many other ways as well. I mean, when you've been told something so long, even if it's a lie, eventually it's going to have an effect on you in one way or another. So there's definitely been a lot of damage that's been done, and only the Most High can restore us, and he will when it's time. You know, we're going to return back to the people that he originally created us to be. So, I mean, it's definitely a beautiful thing that a lot of our people are continuing to wake up. We have to always keep in mind that just because we're Israelites, it does not mean that we're going to make it into heaven just because we're an Israelite. We have to do our best to follow God and follow Christ and do our best to keep the commandments and to live a righteous lifestyle. And of course, we're going to all fall short of the glory of God, and we're going to sin and make mistakes, but we have to be repentant and, again, doing our best to seek the Most High and to live the way he wants us to live. And, you know, we can't worry about people who don't want to accept the truth. You know, all we can do is try to tell people, and you kind of just got to move on from there if they don't want to accept it. All you can do is try to be the best example that you can to the point where hopefully they will eventually come to the truth if it's the Lord's will. But I'm going to read this verse really quick. This is John chapter 4, verses 23 through 24. And it goes, "But the hour cometh, and now is, when the true worshipers shall worship the Father in spirit and in truth. For the Father seeketh such to worship him. God is a spirit, and they that worship him must worship him in spirit and in truth." Yeah, so the Bible is very clear that we must worship the Most High and Christ in spirit and in truth. And it's unfortunate, but a lot of people of all races do not want to accept the fact that Christ is a so-called black man and that the Israelites are so-called black people. And of course, we know there's 12 tribes of Israel spread out to the four corners of the earth. But, you know, the reality is God is going to judge the nations for what they've done to his people over these years. There's no escaping that. So some people, you know, like I said, it's very hard for them to accept, but it really makes no difference if they don't want to accept it, because the truth is the truth. And of course, there are some Gentiles out there who do accept the truth and they can be grafted in. But for people who think they're going to continue to mistreat and hate the chosen people of the Most High, and somehow they think that they're going to get into heaven and that the Most High doesn't care about that, those people are deceived, because all throughout the Bible, of course, the Most High is talking about the 12 tribes of Israel. He's talking about the children of Israel, talking about the tribe of Judah a lot, of course, which is, for the most part, so-called black Americans. But of course, we're scattered through the four corners of the earth. But the Most High has not forgotten about his people. That's my point. And I'm just glad to see that we're all witnessing it. And again, these are all prophecies being fulfilled. But I'm going to pretty much wrap it up. Much love and respect to everyone who watched the video. I really appreciate it. And at the end of the day, the Most High is always in control, and he will always have the final word. I'm out. Peace.